Why pursuing happiness is a Stoic misstep. Ancient wisdom you've misunderstood. The happiness trap. Everyone wants to be happy. We read books about it, take courses on it, chase careers, relationships, and goals, all in the hope of finding lasting happiness. But what if this entire pursuit is the very thing keeping us miserable? According to the ancient Stoics, the problem isn't that we want to be happy, it's that we think happiness is something we should chase. And that's where we go wrong. The Stoics didn't reject happiness. They simply believed that pursuing it directly was like chasing a shadow. The more you run toward it, the more it slips away. Part 1. What Stoicism really says about happiness. Let's get one thing clear. Stoicism is not about being emotionless. It's not about rejecting joy or living a cold, robotic life. Stoicism is about living in accordance with nature, not in the biological sense, but in the sense of aligning your will with the nature of reality. To the Stoics, the highest good isn't happiness, it's virtue. Virtue means living with wisdom, courage, self-discipline, and justice. It means doing the right thing, not the easy thing. And happiness? That's just the natural result of a virtuous life, not the target. As Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to demand joy, but to be content with what is. Part 2. The danger of chasing feelings. Modern life tells us to chase feelings. If you feel good, keep doing it. If you feel bad, stop. But this emotional dependency creates fragility, because life doesn't always feel good. In fact, often it doesn't. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic teacher, warned, "If you seek pleasure, you are bound to suffer. If you seek to control what is not yours, you are bound to be disappointed." When you build your life around chasing happiness, you're no longer in control. External events dictate your peace. A bad day can destroy you. A setback can send you into despair. But the Stoic builds peace from the inside out. They ask, what can I control? The answer? Their choices, their reactions, their mindset. Happiness then becomes not something you hunt, but something you embody through strength, clarity, and resilience. Part 3. Marcus Aurelius and the Emperor's Paradox. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, Emperor of Rome. He had access to every luxury, every pleasure, every distraction. But in his private writings, he often sounded tired, not with the world, but with the illusion of control. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Marcus knew that happiness could not come from palaces, praise, or possessions, because all those things fade, and relying on them for happiness is like building a castle on sand. The Stoic approach, he reminds us, is to seek tranquility over thrill, purpose over pleasure, meaning over mood. Part 4. Stoic happiness is a byproduct. Here's the paradox. When you stop obsessing over happiness and start focusing on virtue, on doing what is right, honorable, and wise, happiness often follows quietly without needing to be chased. Like health, you don't get healthy by obsessing over feeling good. You get healthy by eating right, sleeping well, exercising, and as a result, you feel better. It's the same with the soul. When you build your character, strengthen your values, and face life with courage, you become unshakable. And that is the essence of Stoic happiness, not euphoria, but equanimity. Part 5. Modern misunderstandings. Many modern self-help teachings borrow from Stoicism, but they often twist its heart. They sell Stoicism as a tool to feel better or to hack your way to happiness. But the Stoics didn't care how you felt. They cared how you lived. To them, happiness wasn't the reward for success. It was the quiet proof that you were living rightly. When you treat happiness as the goal, you turn yourself into a hostage of emotion. When you treat virtue as the goal, happiness becomes your companion, not your master. Part 6. Real-life application. So, how do you apply this today? Stop asking, will this make me happy? Start asking, is this the right thing to do? Don't measure a good day by how you felt. Measure it by how you acted. When life gets hard, don't run, don't complain. Ask, what is within my control? Practice gratitude, not just for the good, but for the struggle that helps you grow. This shift will change everything. You'll stop chasing mood swings and start building a steady foundation. You won't always be happy, but you'll be whole, and that is far more powerful. Part 7. The role of pain in the Stoic journey. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Stoicism is its embrace of pain. We often see pain as a problem, something to escape or numb. But to the Stoics, pain is a teacher, a forge that shapes your soul. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." In other words, just as muscles grow under pressure, so too does character. Chasing happiness makes us avoid discomfort, but real growth often hides behind the uncomfortable. The Stoics understood this. They didn't pursue pain, but they welcomed it when it came, because it was a sign that life was inviting them to become stronger, wiser, more compassionate. When you stop seeing pain as an enemy and start treating it as a guide, you step into a power most people never touch. Part 8. Emotional mastery versus emotional suppression. Some people mistake Stoicism for emotional suppression. They think being Stoic means never feeling joy, sadness, or love. But that's not the case. Stoicism teaches emotional mastery, not denial. To feel is human. To be ruled by those feelings is slavery. A Stoic feels deeply, but they don't let feelings drive the car. Emotions are passengers. Reason is the driver. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." That judgment, that inner interpretation, is what separates a Stoic from someone tossed around by every mood swing. So instead of asking, "How can I feel better?" ask, "What story am I telling myself, and is it true?" This creates emotional space. And from that space, calm arises, not because you forced the emotion down, but because you stopped feeding it with distorted thoughts. Part 10. The freedom of letting go. At the heart of Stoicism is one final liberating truth. Let go of what you can't control and reclaim your power. Most people exhaust themselves trying to control the uncontrollable. Other people's opinions, outcomes, the past, the future. But as Epictetus constantly reminded his students, some things are up to us, some things are not. Freedom begins the moment you accept this truth. Let go of needing to feel happy all the time. Let go of needing things to go your way. Let go of the belief that your worth depends on how good life feels. And what will you find? Stillness, strength, freedom. The Stoics weren't against happiness. They simply believed that chasing it was a distraction from something deeper. The pursuit of virtue leads to peace. The pursuit of happiness leads to anxiety. So, make your choice. Not between pain and pleasure, but between chasing illusions or living with truth. Because the truth is simple, eternal, and powerful. You don't need to pursue happiness to find it. You only need to live wisely, act justly, and accept life as it comes. And when you do, happiness, the real kind, follows like a shadow. The Stoic path forward. The pursuit of happiness isn't evil, but it's often misguided. Because happiness, as the Stoics knew, is not something you get by aiming at it. It's something that arises when you live in harmony with reason, nature, and virtue. So, stop running after fleeting emotions. Stop trying to control everything you can. And start living as the person your best self would admire. Because happiness isn't a destination. It's the quiet echo of a life well lived.